Just be yourself,
Yeah.
dude. 3,
I am
2,
being myself.
Well, I know you are. Actually, trying to be less yourself. 3, 2, 1, and go.
I woke up very unhappy. Dude, I'm very scared. Scared. I was scared. I did not have fun watching the movie. I'm just like panicked, goosebumps, scared. I want to leave. I think in terms of scared, I was very scared.
I'm scared.
What are we doing, boys? Are we clowning around? I think we're clowning around.
We've been forced to clown around by you, yes.
We got the Prosecco. We're a little bit Art Deco because the bad boys of horror are back, baby, for the 15th episode of 2 Men and a Baby. 15th quinceanera.
It's our big quinceanera day. We got a planned dance and everything. Check out the YouTubes.
That's right. 2 Men and a Baby, the horror movie review show where 3 best friends discuss a new horror movie each episode.
I feel like you just almost alluded to our original title, which was the half-hour horror show.
And we
about
cannot...
2 episodes in, we were like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 59 minutes. Now we're just trying to keep it under an hour.
Last
which we're
episode, 59.
I like that reference to the old lore for our big fans. The old lore back when we were a half-hour boy.
Anyway, as usual, I'm joined to my right by musician turned horror historian Brendan Fletcher.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for coming back, and I'm actually really excited for this one.
Nothing sounds more sarcastic than Brendan being excited for something.
And then to my left, I'm joined by comedian and titular baby, figuratively naked, but definitely afraid and ready to tell you how scary this movie was. And that leaves me.
Figuratively naked? I'm sorry, I can't let that go by. What? Because I'm a baby?
Well, because I can't say naked and afraid if you're only afraid and not naked.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean,
understand?
with this movie, I was neither.
So, and that leaves me, your handsome host, Will Dubbs, ready to uncover some Scream themes and disagree with everybody.
I love how this is 90% auditory podcast, and the way Will is cheesing at the camera, none of you guys will ever know. He is like,
No, but
he
I-
is making love to
I
this
get to-
camera
Also,
over
I
my
love that you're
shoulder
setting
right
yourself
now.
up as like the Roger Klotz of this
I get to
podcast.
edit the
Fucking
clips.
Roger Klotz.
Doug Funny.
Wait, Clotton?
Oh. I thought that was Santa's brother.
No, Doug Funny.
What's Santa's real name?
Chris Kringle.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, this episode we're covering 2024's Terrifier 3, written, edited, and directed by Damien Leone. Brendan, hit that theme song.
No, I
Sing
recorded
it the whole thing.
I recorded it. All right, let's go.
2 men and a baby, oh yeah. 2 men and a motherfucking baby.
So we actually just came directly from,
My pants.
mostly directly from my apartment building, where we haven't done this in a while. We watched in the screening room.
To make it clear, the mostly directly is because we did stop for Burger King and Prosecco. So
Anyway, we went to his beautiful screening room, which we haven't been to in a while.
it was beautiful. We had surround sound. We go into this quiet room. It gets so fucking dark in there because the fire code is not up to par. And we turn it on, surround sound, the movie's starting. Now, granted, we'll get into it. Not a great movie. And we get into it, and immediately we hear from silence 12 white women walk into the room that is touching the screening room, which is like a bookable, like fake kitchen type of thing. And they're immediately like,
gaggle
oh my
of
God, Kathy,
women.
I'm Ashley. Ashley, I'm Kathy. Ashley, I'm Carissa, Teresa, Chelsea.
There were definitely a bunch of EIGHs.
Lisa,
in that.
Veronica, Karen, Vicky, Veronica, I just said. But
Veronica,
That's my
I
favorite
mean-
Stevie Wonder instrument. But they're talking about literal tea while we're in the room watching someone get their fucking knees cut into pieces every 5 seconds. We were really hoping to clash with them. When we walked out, few drinks in, I go, hey, how's it going? Just nothing. She
So
just
that was the
turned away
exit.
from-
That was
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
But I was scared to go to the bathroom that first time because you have to deal like you don't know. There might be
Yeah.
a confrontation.
Yeah, if you guys don't know this movie, I mean, Terrifier 3, 3 grown men watching in a very dark screening room while, like, there's an effervescence of life happening beyond
like
the
a-
walls of these screening rooms. People are going, oh, tea, they're having a great time.
The head Kathy was like talking about it like a sommelier, but then we realized it's tea. So they were doing like
Wait, it was
sommelier
tea?
stuff
Tea
about
tasting?
tea. Yeah.
Wait, it was literally a tea taste.
It was they were teeing it up.
They were also spilling some tea. And I actually heard some
Stand
pretty
up.
crazy things about Kathy.
All right. So honestly, the way we usually kick things off on this show is each one of us go around. We give a synopsis, so plural synopses of the movie, and we each do it in one sentence and one sentence only with our own flair. And then afterwards, we read the official one so that the 3 listeners have an understanding of what the movie is about. Did you guys write yours?
I write, dude. I wrote.
Right, I gotta
and
look up
I'm
the
gonna
official.
talk about it right now.
And I write so far away.
If you're new to this show, Brendan he's like the Barry
No,
Bonds.
dude, come on. I'm not
of-
even that good. I did
No,
like
you-
one or
No,
two
you're
that
a
were
Sammy
okay.
Synopsis, dude. Blair
Sammy
Witch
Synopsis.
episode, which is out right now. Brendan
I was
literally.
hating hard on that one.
Yeah, you hated, and then Brendan, it was so good. And then we read a regular wiki and a GPT one. Both of them weren't even close to Sammy over here.
Okay,
So
guys.
hit us off, dude.
Okay, so now this basically has to be War and Peace
Yeah.
by Tolstoy. Thanks, guys.
Dostoevsky. That's not true.
So here goes, I guess, nothing.
Terrifier 3.
After decapitating the head of Art, a demonic clown, Sienna Shaw looks to decompress on a wholesome weekend with her extended family, only to find out that Artie's clowning around has just begun.
Okay, so what makes that one especially impressive is that he had not seen part 1 and 2 until we made him watch a recap, and the beheading was in that recap.
That was in the rehack.
And you incorporated. That's impressive, dude.
But I'll be honest with you guys, don't watch any of these fucking movies. They're bad. It's a waste of time. Okay, Dubbs.
all right, I'll go next. Artie murders every single Pokemon evolution of Jenna Ortega. That's it.
Oh, because to be fair, like all the women in the movie did look very similar.
Yeah, no, it was
very
weird.
similar. It's very confusing.
And it was also weird that the ages, like,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, hey, what's up, Aunt, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's
ambiguous.
like, you're the same age.
Right.
If
And then
not,
my
you
little
might
brother,
be older than your
yeah.
aunt. Yeah, it was
the
very
ages
weird.
were weird. The acting was bad. Okay, I didn't write a synopsis, but I guess
That's his thing.
Terrifier 3. Clown, Santa, kills people. Then for some reason other stuff happens, but mainly he kills people, and that's the fun part.
That's honestly your most succinct one thus far.
Thank you.
All right,
And
here's,
honestly, that synopsis is perfectly described this movie because, I mean, listen, and honestly, the best synopsis of this movie would be 2 words. Piece of trash. That's 3 words.
I think you're gonna say don't watch, which
I can't
again,
believe I had
they
to-
were fun. Like there's no reason to bury the lead here. My opinion is there were some cool kills, and besides
Yes.
that, why the fuck was this movie 2 hours? Oh my
Yeah, it was
god!
2 hours. It was 2 hours too long. I mean, let's be
Ooh,
honest.
but no,
Guys,
it was 1
guys.
hour and a half too long for a 2-hour movie, that's a bad review. But
part
it's still
2
to
was
say
2.5.
2.5.
I
Thank
think
God
it was
we didn't
like
watch it. But Will did have me and Brendan. So me and Brendan hadn't seen the first 2. Will did have us watch a recap video on YouTube called "Recap Terrifier 1 and 2" to watch before 3 or something like that. And we watched that.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah,
long.
5.5, and that was how to do. Honestly, these are movies that just need to be kills. Why do we need anything
First of all,
else?
movie. You've only seen one. Don't act
Okay.
like you
oh,
know.
I'm so sorry. I'm sure the 1 and 2 were fucking
Hold on.
magnum
Hold on.
opuses of fucking Damian Lillard over here that made it.
Yeah. All right. So here's the official one, and it's, as usual, way too long, which kind of coincides with the movie. After surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre,
More
Sienna...
like Fart the Clown, dude. Keep going.
Nice. Sienna and her brother are struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. Just when they think they're safe, Art the Clown returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. That is 300 words of nothing.
That must have been written by Damien fucking
that's-
whatever that made this movie. That was so
but
much.
That was fluff. It was a Christmas movie for sure.
Which, okay, that's the first question I had about this. Why did it come out 1 month and like 1.5 months before Christmas? Because
Horrible timing.
I don't think you have to put out every Christmas movie
No,
on
but
Christmas, but like
Halloween
put
is-
it in June or something.
So Halloween is the best time to put out horror movies. I do want to talk about this. This is a massive success.
I know,
as far
huge.
as Damien.
Everywhere.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No. It's insane what Damien Leone has done.
Their numbers are terrifying.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Dude,
it's
I thought-
astronomical.
Dude, listen, I thought, dude, I'm shocked right now that you're saying the numbers. Are you saying the numbers in terms of box office numbers or like
Yeah.
reviews?
Box office,
critics,
because
all that
no,
stuff?
not reviews.
Oh,
but
just
box
like
office.
money, grossing.
Yeah,
like,
because this was he was an indie like Gore House. He
He
made
still is.
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
saw the
yeah,
first. I saw a couple of minutes of the
part-
first movie, and I shut it off because
Part
I
one
thought
is
this
way
was the
worse,
most.
by the way.
I thought this was the most ridiculous movie I've ever seen. I hate horror movies that are trying so hard to be funny and getting a big reaction from the theater going community. Like, they
but
really
there
want
was
chuckles
no
going.
theater growing community for Terrifier 1.
Yeah, no shit, because it sucked.
I'm curious.
It would never
No,
was
it was
in
straight
theater.
to Blu-ray, right?
Is straight to Betamax. Was the first one like? Do you feel like he was trying to find his tone? I have a lot of problems with the tone in this. I clearly he found a tone with some audience because it was very successful. I heard about it in a lot of places. But what would you say about because we haven't seen the first two. Brendan saw a little bit.
Yeah.
What would you say made one bad? Because I'm arguing 3 is bad. So I want to know what made one bad.
One was bad just because it. I mean, I don't want to say it was bad because it was very unique, but
it wasn't as good to you. So what made it?
No, well, I mean, first of all, the low budget showed way more.
Okay.
Also,
fair.
There's only really, in my opinion, one sick kill.
Okay.
Whereas
That's
two
probably
and
the
3 is like you're like, I'll deal with this until,
Yeah.
and then you see some shit you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So one, it was, but at the, people. That one kill, just that one kill, it's like Bone Tomahawk. The one kill was enough for so many people to gravitate towards this movie and be like, this shit is crazy, yada yada yada. And also the idea of like this mute, mimey kind of sadistic, a person that kills while making fun of the person. It developed enough of a cult following for part 2, which was in production for a while, to get a theatrical release only off the coattails of the fans. So basically it was
the first one was like straight to DVD, had a cult following.
Technically the first one is All Hallows Eve, by the way. It's like anthology movie that Art the Clown is in. So
Right. His face is on the cover of that.
yeah, so All Hallows Eve is multiple.
That's before the first.
Yes,
yeah.
It's like the beginning
But it's
of
the
Art
Terrifier
the
story starts with part 1.
Yeah.
And-
But who cares?
Yeah,
Because this
that's
story
a good point.
sucks. Art
Yeah,
the Clown,
there's
they're
no
trying to make him
story.
into like a Mike Myers. They're trying to make him to a Jason. They're trying to make him into
but that's the
they're
thing
trying
is-
to make him into this iconic slasher. It's like no one's buying it. We need an origin story, okay? Damien
I would argue-
Leone.
Disagree.
I
Give
would
me an
argue-
origin story. Give me a motivation behind why he's
Well, it sounds like
killing
they
What
people.
was
tried.
Mike Myers' motivation?
I would argue, I don't know if I fully agree with that, only because I think that there's 2 ways to go about it. There's like, we're going to tell a fully thought out story where we have an origin story, we have an understanding, we can get deep, we can get lore based, and we can really go for it. And then there are these movies that are like, this is the creation of evil, and they do evil things, and that's scary in its own way. And I think either of those can work. And I think this movie, like every movie pretty much we've done on this show that I have not liked, it's because I think there is there's an indecisiveness with tone and with that decision making. And I think this movie would go back and forth between being, what do you call a gore movie? Like, what are they called? Like splatter? Like, is there a fun name for it? Like there's like a creature
Grindhouse
feature.
or
No,
yeah,
there's a
like-
fucking word.
Yeah,
for it.
they're like I don't know what it is.
Torture porn.
Torture porn.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're now, and I would say like
Saw,
definitely.
Hostel.
He literally
Saw-
tortures people.
Yeah, sure.
So we got Saw, Hostel. We did Violent Nature, sort of torture porn,
Yeah.
and Pern, and then we did this. So I would say, I'm learning about these things, and my main thought would be, let it be fucking torture porn if it's torture porn, and that's my biggest problem with this movie.
Yeah,
and
stop being cerebral.
Yeah,
Stop
it-
trying to
or
make it
just-
into something
yeah,
it's not.
exactly.
Stop trying
No,
to,
yeah, no.
Because
I-
like they do
I
it.
do-
There is an attempt by the protagonist, Sienna Shaw, like where she starts to give this
Damn, you knew her last name?
really deep explaining the whole origin behind it's
connected
art.
to her
and it was like,
dad and her
it's like,
uncle
and you
and-
have to find
Okay, so-
a body. The demon has to find like a receptive
And there's a
host, but the
sword.
Nice.
receptive host has to be compromised in a way. It's like, what are you talking about?
But
and it's happening in the middle of just like a dude's butt fucking being ripped out of his
It's 2
stomach.
movies. It's 2
and then it was
movies.
like-
But
and then it's like 2 hours long. What the fuck?
Can I-
It's so weird. It was such a waste of my fucking time. If anyone paid money to see this movie, I feel sorry for you, and you got probs. All right, you got mental probs. And if
Okay.
you saw this movie because you liked the first 2, you got real probs.
Which
if
you
you're
haven't-
actually a fan of this series, get your head checked, kid.
I don't
Okay, so
fully
that-
agree with that.
That's the
point.
most patience I've ever exercised in my entire life. So listen, you guys are right in the sense that everything that was filler, expository, lore, all that shit, trash. It was bad. It was bad.
Thank you.
But
Glad to
what
hear
I
it.
disagree with entirely is that art is not going to become, or hasn't already become, an icon of slasherdom. And even if you disagree that he's not an icon. But even if you disagree that he's not an icon, the one thing that Damien Leone has done successfully is create this very consistently entertaining and horrific character. And that is the one constant in all three of these movies is art. He is so silly.
Do you find him horrific for real? Like, are you just saying that because you feel like you have to?
There are certain scenes where he is fucking doing things that you've never seen on camera that looks so real, and he's laughing the whole time.
But he actually isn't laughing. He's just making it. He never makes a noise. He just smiles.
He's
mime laughing.
He's being amused. Yeah. So that is something new. And you said that we need an origin story. I disagree. Also, because Mike Myers, one of the most terrifying villains ever, his whole thing was he had no motive.
To be fair, man. Mike Myers, I would say it's not about the psychosexual.
He comes
Mike Myers' origin story is there was once a kid that was super evil, and that kid was pure evil and then killed everyone in his path.
Okay.
I think it's overcomplicating it. It's like, look, you liked it. I don't want to speak for you, but tell me if I'm wrong. You liked it, and a lot of people like it. Where I disagree with your viewpoint, Brendan, is it's a facilitator for kills. It is a facilitator for cool kills. Yeah. And because of that, I think it has merit, because there aren't that many movies where someone cuts someone through the butthole, spoiler alert, and other cool kills. And I'm sure in the other two movies, there are also cool kills. So that is enough to give it merit. It's not enough to make it a good movie. And my major point that I'll keep coming back to is I think that if that's going to be the cream of your crop there, make that the whole movie and don't try to add others.
Yeah,
and that's the
just making that movie a YouTube compilation of kills.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see the Terrifier, and Will's great at this. We've been friends way before this podcast. Will would be like, come watch this kill. And fuck yes, I would do that. And I think in A Violent Nature it had some similarities where it's like, really, you could have just saw the compilation of kills in that movie
Violent
too.
Nature was more cerebral in my opinion.
Also, Violent Nature was goddamn shorter, which was a fucking key to all of it.
I wish
and it still felt long.
You guys would have hated part 2.
Oh my God.
But at the same time, you also might have loved the same exact thing. Yeah, so
but I didn't even like the kills.
I thought the kills were interesting.
No,
they were interesting.
You
they were
made
good.
noises I've never heard you make before.
Yeah, they were like, but after 2 hours of it, it's like, all right, dude, we got it.
Okay.
Damien Leone, whatever is Damien Leone, that's the director.
Yeah.
He's a special effects. That's how he got his kind of like intro into the industry,
which you could see.
So he's flexing his skills obviously throughout the entire franchise of Terrifier, and so like yes, the kills and the special effects were riveting. I mean, like there were some where were like almost comical, and I think they were supposed to be comical because it was just so.
I mean, it was
gruesome
you would
and so
say
gratuitous.
to people that didn't see it, they were well done.
They were very well done. Very well
like,
done.
Holy shit!
And like shocking, and like. And, you know, making me, I always say whenever I see a movie where like fingernails are being pulled out or something like that, that gets me more than anything that could get Abbie in terms of like fright factor. Like that makes me squirm.
Okay.
But after 2
You
hours.
think they're nailing it?
Wait, hold on, Abbie. We got to pull some fingernails.
But yeah, I hate that.
Fingernails and a baby, dude.
That makes me squirm. But after 2 hours of it, it's a little bit like them beating you over the head. You know, with a jackhammer, dude. It's whatever, sledgehammer. It just got a little bit tired, and it felt like I was ready for that. I was ready for the movie to end by an hour, and we all agree with that. It was too long.
Speaking of repetitive and beating it over the head, let's move on to the next segment, which is Baby in the Corner, where Abbie, our titular baby, he's of the three of us the only one that is actually like pretty scared of horror movies. Still scared sometimes. But what's great is he can function as a human barometer for the people that want to decide to watch a movie, how scary it is. So, Abbie, can you tell us Terrifier 3?
Yeah. So, I am embarrassed with what I'm about to say.
Oh,
because
you thought you were scared.
I mean, again, obviously, this was not terrifying.
Opening scene, I bet.
This was not terrifying. We just came from watching the fucking Blair Witch Project, one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. We've seen a lot of great ones. Will's brought a lot of great ones to this table that make me really scared, and also I think about them for weeks.
Say that one more time.
Shut up. Terrifier 3 was a bad movie with some cool kills. I don't care about gore. I find it fun. I was like, hell yeah, I like the gore.
Dude, I was like, yeah.
I like the gore. But I'm embarrassed to admit that I was still a little scared, as fucking dumb as I thought it was, because it just did the first scene. It's like Black
the opening
Christmassy,
sequence
like,
was amazing, and
Dude, Monopoly's fun for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
After
that's a good-
4.5 hours,
That's
and you
a good
and you and your
analogy.
uncle are like strangling each other on the carpet in the living room.
Once
Okay,
you're
so-
stealing money
Fine
from your
no more.
sister that's 5 years old. But I'll admit I was scared of some parts, and it's not up there with a lot of the great movies at all. But I was definitely scared for some parts. They did the thing we've talked about from the first movie on, which is, every movie has its own world that they're setting up in, and this world very quickly you're like, especially if you haven't seen the first two, I'm like, okay, I know he's pure evil. I know he's all about the kills. I know this isn't going to be some fun, happy-go-lucky movie. But they're not going to kill a kid. Immediately fucking squish a kid into fucking pieces. We don't see it.
Squirt.
Yeah, that kid got straight scourged.
Yeah, so that was fucked up, and immediately you're like, oh, this clown will do anything. And there's nothing that's sacred in this movie, and that's always scary because there's nothing to fall back on
that's
in
the
terms
whole
of
fun
like
of
right.
Art the Clown.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's also like when does he decide to kill people? When does he not decide to kill people? Like there are moments
Right.
I
where
wrote
he,
that.
Right.
I literally wrote that down.
Yeah, usually it's understandable,
well,
even
like,
with crazy creatures.
So there's that scene where the college couple's hooking up, and he's just like watching them outside in the hallway, and he decides not to kill them, but then he just kills them horrifically later.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is his worldview?
Yeah.
How is he deciding? I think that's my biggest issue.
He's autistic.
It's like,
too.
I
Well, he was
understand-
like watching, and then he left, and
Yeah.
then Kamala lost.
Right. Like I understand like there's some horror icons out there, like slasher icons, that anyone that crosses their path, they're killing. Where this guy has like this sense of humor, kind of, he's chuckling, he's cracking jokes, and he's you
definitely
can
not
never
cracking
you never
jokes.
can tell who he's gonna kill and who he doesn't kill, and,
which is unsettling.
but it's like
I'll
it's
give it
unsettling,
that.
but it's like I wish I knew like a little
No,
bit
but-
as to why.
It's unsettling.
The one thing that so I'd say is more confusing than that is why Damien Leone, who is so excited to show you the most gory shit that you've ever seen, every once in a while there would be like an off-screen
right.
death or stab, and I'm like, why was that one off screen?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, no, there was some weird. And so just to finish on the fear part of it, like I think that he annoyed the shit out of me, the clown. And I
Yes.
don't mean because he killed kids. Like that's worse than annoying. Like that's evil. But
That's
his
how I
little-
felt after part one.
His fucking facial things
So
didn't even
annoying,
feel like he did
dude.
them well.
I
It was
hated him.
vaudevillian bullshit, bullshit over
so this
here.
is that, you know what?
It's
I'm
Von
realizing.
Killian Murphy, dude.
I'm realizing this is how I felt after part one. I was like, why are people? Why? What is the cult thing? But then people got so excited about part two, and I went back. And then I liked it, and then all of a sudden now Art is like, I'm like, this is a fucking, he's a G.
I so disagree. I couldn't disagree
no,
with
no,
you
but
more.
but I'm saying that
he's
used
not a
to.
G. How is he a G?
Well, he's a C. First
He's at
clown.
least an L, dude.
No, but all right, Abby, what is your Binky
Well, I
meter
feel like
score?
just to say, I think he represents in a weird way, and I don't want to put you in this box, Will, because again, I do think the kills are cool, and I don't want to outshine that, but it's like I feel like it represents a bit of a new generation of just like no fucking art to it anymore, and it's
Yet his
just,
name is Art.
Yeah, and his name's Art, and
disagree.
it's just like, oh look, he doesn't talk, but he does a fucking smiley face. It's just like it felt like it's like a horror movie for a toddler, and I'm sorry to say that, but I would say still, I'm embarrassed to admit that my Binky meter is going to be, I'm going to say 6.8.
Dude, that
6.8.
actually
that's
brings.
still,
That's
I
funny you
thought-
say that because that brings my first Fletch fact. So Art, you know why he was named Art? So Damien
Tell us.
Leone wanted to name the killer Art as a symbol for art itself. He wanted to basically make a commentary on how we look too deeply into art and how we
surface is really what matters.
and how we are trying to find something deeper when really we should just let art wash over us. And let's stop trying to intellectualize it. I'm just making this up. Sorry.
Oh,
Wait,
I was,
no,
oh my god,
Dude, that's a
Because-
Fletch farce, dog.
that was a Fletch
It's so good because I was like, that makes sense. And then there was the scene where he was in a rocking chair for 35 seconds. What was washing over this then?
that was a joke. Sorry,
wow.
Dude, a Fletch
But
farce.
6.8, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
on.
because
That's pretty good.
I want to say lower, but I'm
No,
being
no,
honest
but
to you
What do you
guys.
think the quality is, though, in a horror head? Like someone who loves horror movies, that goes to see a movie like this, a slasher movie. Someone who like wants to see that gore, that level of gratuitous like violence and stuff. Like, are they because I don't think the reaction is being afraid of it. They're
not
like
at all.
it's
I'm
like
literally
funny.
the horror head that went to see Terrifier 2.
Yeah. So what's your reaction? Is it comical? Like, are you
for him
laughing
to
at
push
it?
the bar.
I had
Do you feel
a
uncomfortable
blast.
by it?
I had a
or-
blast at that movie.
So what does that mean, though?
But also, it was frustratingly an hour too long. So much like it was like, okay, let's take a break from. But yeah, it's show me something I haven't seen before, and also I do think that he's got a knack behind the camera. I think that he knows how to capture colors and like schemes and like especially art. The way he shoots art, I think, is great.
Yeah. I guess it's exhilarating.
No, but yeah,
I'm just trying
no,
to
no.
I think it's
pinpoint the
exhilarating.
emotion that you feel when you see like someone's head getting like
But that's the thing is
grotesquely.
this franchise was able to get into theaters in the United States in theaters while showing some of the most boundary pushing violence that you've ever seen. To me, that was exciting and enough to go see it and also to enjoy it. While I also told you guys before this, I was like, this movie is dumb. Everything that is all the story is dumb, but everything else about it
It's also dumb.
But I think you're also downplaying art of Gore is fun to watch. Like the art, how are you going to do it? How are you going to create? Because we're in a world where we've seen everything, but yet people are trying to create a new way. So it's like, as much as I talk shit about this, if I had to think of a creative way to kill someone, like it would take a little while. Like everyone's sort of done a lot of the cool things. Like, we talked
I
about
was
being
about
a violent
to bring
nature.
that up. But,
Yeah.
But do you forgive that movie more because it was like a parable for
No, so I think that, and we'll see how this movie ages. We just watched it. I think that as much as I talk shit about violent nature, I think that will stick with me because I think that it did one thing plot-wise, which I didn't love, but it was one simple thing, and then it had one kill. And so that kill will stick with me. Versus I think this was some cool kills for sure. I'm not going to take that away. Everything else I fucking hated. And I still think even the kills were so gratuitous that it actually didn't stick with me as much. And I know
there were also times that you guys
went
laughed.
full bore.
There was,
Oh, for
there was
sure.
a
No, I had
moment where
fun
you
in the
guys were
kills.
like, okay, this tone is hilarious. Why didn't it do this
Yes,
the whole time?
yes, of course.
All right. Honestly, this is a good time to shift gears and
down into the spoiler room, and then we sing that song.
There's
Brendan
another
actually
door.
wrote a song for the spoiler room.
I
and here it
gotta
goes.
workshop it. I'm gonna go to the motherfucking. No, no, that's it. All
Spoiler
right, then we're done with that song. Go next. I lost my voice. Peace.
Okay, so-
Saves the day concert.
all right. So we're down here in the spoiler room now. We said that
Spoiler, people die.
There's some gooey guts everywhere, and yeah, you might want to bring a puke bag.
You might want to wear an eye patch.
we said for the show that we would start reciting the plot for the people that may or may not watch the movie. So
Okay, do it. Can you make it short though?
I don't.
Yeah. So we'll have to-
Actually, don't hold on. I think I can do this.
Can you find a
this
shorter
no?
version?
I can do this. For those of you who have not seen this movie, love you guys. Shout out
We're not
Sam and
gonna-
Hav. This is what happens, dude. Art the Clown. Okay, there's two other fucking movies. Who shitting cares? There's a secret sword we found out in the recap video. Art the Clown murders a family at first. Kids, everybody, doesn't give a fuck. He's in a Santa outfit. Bam, scene one. Now we're learn about the character from the second movie. Her name's Sienna. She has a dad who was involved in the whole fucking thing, but now he's dead. He died in the second movie too. This
Comic
is all
books.
for the second. Yeah, and also side note about the dad. That dad was drawing comics. That dad definitely drew hentai on the side.
Dude,
Guaranteed
he was
he
sick,
drew hentai.
dude. I wanted him to be my dad. No,
He's-
actually,
he's
shout out to
literally
my dad.
partially evil. It was very weird.
I don't know why I said that, Dad. I didn't mean that.
Your dad's not listening to this, dude.
So then she has some dad that died of a tumor. Her mom was murdered by it. Everyone's murdered. Her brother's saved. Okay, now we're in the world where Art the Clown is has a new evil girlfriend, and she's disfigured. She looks like Elephant Woman, and they're going around killing together. Then they go into a weird house. They just stand there for a while. No one really understands it. More kills, more kills, more kills. Sienna, our main character, is now with her aunt and uncle because her family's dead, and she's like sort of normal, but you can sort of tell she's fucked up from the last time she's popping fucking antipsychotic meds. She's seeing dead people that used to be involved. It's all types of fucked up. Art the Clown comes back. Obviously, Art the Clown comes, tries to kill her, kills her whole family, kills everybody, kills her brother. She saves the day and kills him at the end. That's the whole fucking movie. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that was my attempt. You guys are talking shit. I will read the real one
Only
for
I
those
was,
of you that have not seen the movie and don't like Abbie's great semi-drunk, semi-high fucking synopsis. Here we go. Terrifier 3 begins 5 years after the events of Terrifier 2. Art the Clown is resurrected by the possessed Victoria Hayes. Together, they embark on a new spree of carnage, beginning with a gruesome attack on demolition workers in a Christmas-themed massacre at the mall. Disguised as a malevolent Santa Claus, Art leaves a horrifying trail of death using explosives presented to kill innocent bystanders, including children. The massacre shocks the community and reignites fear that Art has instilled in years before. Meanwhile, Sienna and Jonathan Shaw, so that's our main character and the little brother, still coping with the trauma from the last encounter, struggle to move on. Sienna experiences vivid hallucinations and survivor's guilt, while Jonathan buries himself in his studies. With the news of the mall attack spreads, Sienna grows convinced that Art has returned. She discovers cryptic letters from their deceased father, and she has some flashbacks about him, hinting at a dark destiny involving demons and the enchanted sword. Determined to protect her family, Sienna resolves to retrieve the sword from the Terrifier haunted attraction, believing it to be their only hope. In a chilling climax, Art and Victoria invade Sienna's family home, transforming it into a blood-soaked scene of horror. They brutally murder Sienna's aunt and uncle, leaving their mutilated bodies as grotesque Christmas decorations. Sienna fights back, gets the sword, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read all this. During the chaos, the cousin, Gabby, who I didn't even talk about because she's sort of whatever, dies. Very sad.
To child? I mean, that was a...
Yeah, she dies. It sucked. Sienna narrowly escapes, but is left devastated by Gabby's disappearance.
Devastated.
She was mad devastated and shit.
Abby
Damn it.
skating
This is why
all-
you shouldn't read.
I excavated and then I was devastated.
No, but I'm elated to be over here right now.
Well, I'm absolutely masturbated because I'm going to see you. And I'm being fucking
Vindicated. I am
selfish.
I am wrong. I am right. I'm right.
What was that?
Dashboard.
Dashboards.
Dashy B,
I
dude.
got a confession. I don't know that
All right.
song. Although Art escapes into the night, Sienna vows to bring an
There's
end of his
more?
reign of terror and rescues Gabby from the underworld. Oh, she says she'll rescue Gabby. Her journey sets the stage for an inevitable final confrontation. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I was sort of checked out by then. Okay, that's it.
All right, so yeah, now we're here. We can talk about whatever.
I'm saying so they have this Christmas. They all these Christmas killer movies, right? Where's the Hanukkah killer movie, dude? I mean, besides what's going on in Gaza. Okay.
Yo, I
Thank
got a
you very
great
much.
Hanukkah horror movie title. It's going to be called Passover.
Hold on, wait,
No,
no,
actually, it's going to be called this.
he did a spin around like a dreidel.
Kill Phil.
All right,
Fish.
so no, but Bill,
Kill Filter Fish.
yeah, I'm gonna bail him out right now. So at the beginning of the movie, the first scene, Art shows up at this house, and he's dressed as Santa Claus, and there's two parents and two kids, and he goes up into
Dreidel of Filth. Go.
He goes up into the one kid that we haven't really met yet's bedroom with an axe, and literally just brutally murders a
Child,
male
5-year-old.
child. And Brendan goes, he must have been on the naughty list.
That was funny. Wait, all right. So first aside, when the Terrifier, I want to call him the Terrifier. Can I just call him the Terrifier?
No.
When the
That's
Terrifier
Artie,
clown,
dog.
when Artie fucking
Artie Lang,
when
yeah.
Artie sprays a like coolant machine that he made at a rat and freezes the rat to death. There are children have died. Will did not bat an eye. When he freezes the rat, Will goes, "Oh no!" So that was like sort of sweet of you. That's what you cared about.
Also,
and then the funniest part is, so that's what triggered Will. Again, death, children death, everything. Brendan's not having a great time at all. He's making that vocal, but he's not disturbed that much. Then there's one scene where there's 3 derelict fucking old dudes at the bar, fucked up. They're about to get murdered. That's when Brendan's like, "No, don't kill them, dude." Like, he
They're
could-
fucking-
he
they're
could
just
see his
drinking,
future
hanging
in that.
out.
They were being so kind. I mean, think about it. You're a guy.
Yeah, unlike the
dressed as a
child
cl-
asleep.
No, but that is
yeah,
so.
true.
The other thing, weirdly enough, this wasn't a movie like full of homages or anything
No.
like that.
There was
no,
no
there was
homages.
The Shining.
There was the
and
Shining
Texas
homage.
Chainsaw Massacre.
What
Yep.
was the Texas Chainsaw
Well,
one?
the fucking
the chainsaw.
chainsaw.
Right.
Oh,
He's running
okay,
on
well,
chainsaw.
does every kill with a chainsaw is a homage to Texas
Yes.
Chainsaw Massacre? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I agree. I agree. 100%.
Laziest homage
100%.
ever.
No, but the Shining one was very obvious,
Shining one
and
was
he was
obvious.
smiling.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Honestly, I do think the opening scene was probably the best sequence of the whole movie.
But yeah, it was good.
It was really good. There was one other part that I was like, okay, so there's a part in part 2 where I was like, I don't think they can top this. But in this one, the one where he is ripping the construction dude's head open while she is using
that was crazy. That was good.
glass.
Pleasure herself.
Yeah, so I
And blood is squirting out
she
from
was
her
glasturbating.
vagina. She was glasturbating.
upsetting,
That's
yeah.
good.
While and she was going in, dude. And she was in it. But also, like, if you think like the way he was hurting the guy, but ultimately
He was hurting the guy. He was ripping
no,
his
but
skull off.
ultimately he opens his head up just kind of like
Yeah.
a vagina.
Yeah.
Like it opens up like a little.
Okay, see, this is
Yeah.
like
or
a
like an
little
orange
oyster.
peel. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, back to kind of my biggest issue with the movie is that it's like these kind of gratuitous, gore-ish, violent movies. It's I understand the appeal of them, and I get how someone can enjoy them. Dubbs clearly likes these types of movies, and
Say with your chest.
there are some movies that I enjoy, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I don't like it because of the gore.
Texas
like this
Chainsaw
movie,
Massacre was not that gory.
it wasn't that gory, but like it was violent, right? But it wasn't gratuitously violent. Like it all made sense within the story, the context of the story. Whereas like when you have blood and guts bursting and gushing out everywhere constantly for 2.5 hours, you become desensitized to it. And I think violence is like a very kind of sacred thing and an important quality, an important component in a horror movie that like adds to the story. And there's like a self-referential moment in the movie where the bus driver at the end is talking to a woman who's reading a horror novel, and she goes, I picked it up. I thought it was interesting, but it's a little too creepier than I thought it would be. And he basically goes, yeah, I'm not really into all that blood and gore, and but Frankenstein, that's a great movie.
And this is by the guy that made the movie.
he did, and Damien Leone did iteration of Frankenstein. But like violence and the menacing nature of violence, that requires good acting. It requires good story. It requires you being fearful for someone's life, of someone's vulnerability in comparison to like the menacing, violent component that's attacking him or her. It's everything that builds up to it that makes that final act effective, in my opinion.
So what I want to pay you a compliment, because that is it's absolutely well articulated point in the sense that violence is more important and visceral in horror, period, than gore. Violence, especially when it's used properly as an item, like an interjection of horror where something violent, unexpected happens, it's way more impactful. And you said that so eloquently. Gore, especially, as you just said, which I agree with, if it's overindulged, it loses its effect, right? Now, if you can combine the act of violence and gore at the same time where it's unexpected, it has consequences that, in my opinion, are spectacular. But also gore, if you see something that you haven't seen before, purely just something that is just grosser than something that you thought you could have imagined, to me, that's interesting. And I'm not saying it's impactful. I'm not saying this is a good fucking, I'm not saying that art's violence is terrifying. It is. Can you show me the next thing that I thought? Yeah, show me the next thing I haven't seen. Brendan, you could not have been more right. About horror as a genre and the importance of violence.
You guys have a different taste on this too, which is like Brendan loves horror movies. Brendan would never in any world be like, yo, dude, you want to watch this compilation of the best kills? Like, that's just not your style.
True.
Yeah.
And you would, and that's fine.
So
You disagree on that.
I am curious about this Green Room.
Yeah, I thought it was great. That was amazing.
So that movie is incredible because it balances the intensity, the suspense.
Yeah, it's a push and pull.
But
it's like this stalemate of
the violence is matched with gore that is some shit that I've never seen
Yeah,
before.
I agree.
And that gore is impactful. It's very different. Can I show you guys this one scene? Right.
So these movies are for the kills. So Will claims the reason that he made us fucking watch this goddamn thing is because the second one had him sold also with the kills.
This particular kill is something that I've never seen anything like this before. And it's comedic. So I think, Brendan, you're right. It loses its impact in the sense it's not as scary, but still, I have never seen anything like this. Dude, he said, Jesus Christ, I wanted to go.
It's disgusting. It's like an ossobuco.
No, not the hand. Oh! Not to get worse.
It's like a salt and vinegar chip. That's very artfully done at the end there.
Okay, so Will just showed us a very gruesome scene. Honestly, maybe it's because there's been a little time and I have a little drink in me, but that was, I think, actually better than any of the kills in Terrifier 3. I mean, he killed her in many ways. He tore her arm the way that you, like, pull a chicken bone off, like, back and forth, like, oh, I gotta get it, and then you rip it off. Like, he did that.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, and then she was crawling with her little nubs, and then he ran back in and poured fucking vinegar and salt on her.
Yeah, he literally pulls up the flap of skin and shoves the salt down.
So that was like gruesome, and that's creative, and that's ultimately, I think, merit lies in the creativity of the effects. And that sort of, to bring it back, my summation, that distilled my summation very well of this movie. It's a guy that worked, Brendan, right? He worked in effects, in
Special effects.
effects, practical effects.
Yeah.
He had made, I'm sure, starting with one, but now he's made 3 fucking movies, a trilogy, showing off what the fuck he could do. And it's pretty amazing what he can do. And I think I love that. However, I would say, to oversimplify it, he did enough with effects, creative effects, really cool job, that he got too much fucking rope. And then he was allowed to write 3 movies and make up his own lore. And I assume he doesn't come from that background, and that's not his expertise. And that's where we ended up with a 2.5-hour second movie and an over 2-hour third movie.
Yeah.
Both of which just need to be kills and effects. And that's where we lost it all.
I agree.
Summation.
I think he got confused with the hype, where it was like people weren't hyping you up because of the character or the story. They're hyping you up because these kills are so insanely.
Or like, dude, Terrifier 2 was so good because of the sword.
Yeah, right.
Because of the supernatural sword.
Yeah.
No, it was cool because like,
don't care about your callbacks, dude. You're not George Lucas. This isn't Star Wars. You're not making, you know what I mean? The Emperor Strikes Back. You're just give us some of the blood. Make it an hour and a half.
And the last thing I'll say about to defend him, even fucking George Lucas. Take fucking Star Wars Episode 1. That needs to be in a fucking 90-minute movie. That's a great movie. But no, it's 2.5 hours.
So anyway, I got a couple flash facts for you, and I think these are really going to tantalize your taste buds. Terrifier 3. Bad movie, but some good flash facts. First one. David Howard Thornton, the man that plays Art the Clown, he had previous experience. He actually worked as a mime. The way that checks out. So you utilize some of his skills as a past mime in portraying Artie the Clown. Very interesting indeed. David Howard Thornton also describes his character as being the evil Mr. Bean, which I thought was really funny.
Wow, that is fair.
Because he doesn't talk. He doesn't make a peep the whole time. He's very
kind of makes it better, though.
Yeah, his gesticulations and everything. He also compares him to Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton.
And that just reminded me of a quick point. This movie was very interesting. I don't actually have a formulated opinion, which is weird, about the acting in this movie. Because we've watched, so what's the extremes? Thanksgiving, slasher, horrible acting. And that was sort of fun of it. And actually, Will, props, because I think I weigh a little more on that being a little fun. How bad that was, acting-wise. We got Blair Witch, like some of the best acting I've ever fucking seen in my life. Where here, this one was weird because some characters were totally Thanksgiving style, slasher style bad. Friday the 13th bad. But the main character's like, she's not bad, but she's not amazing, and it's just a little bit weird.
She was good.
Maybe I wanted it more campy.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's like
it was almost trying to be something that wasn't.
Right.
It's like what you're trying to do.
I think the way it was shot, the way they zoom up, everything is looking up. But I think that it was kind of campy.
It was campy. But Abbie and I are like of the idea that like if you're gonna do it, go full bore. Where it was like. It was trying to be cerebral, but also like be.
I told you that about part 2. I've had this beef with part 2, but
so let's put some more flashbacks.
Yeah, so I only got a couple more. So David Howard Thornton, the guy that plays Art, in the scene where he shoves the tube down the ant's throat,
the gerbil
tube, releases the rats. He said he was so disgusted that he almost threw up while filming that scene. So another flash fact, director Damien Leone created Art the Clown because he felt that the 2010s horror scene lacked an iconic horror clown.
So that's sort of to your point, Will.
But
having had a classic slasher.
The irony is 2020's It.
Well, let me finish. So he goes, Leone wanted Art to be different from Pennywise. In It. So he made Art hairless, all black and white, and a weapon-wielding silent killer.
I hated the It movies, personally.
The whole like idea, this clown, this psychotic clown killer or whatever, like the clown being portrayed as this horror object. Like I think the original, the OG clown was John Wayne Gacy. And I think that probably is where it originated
like a real
from.
guy, dude.
Yeah, he was a real horrible guy.
He kind of
dude.
fucked it up by killing all those people.
That guy was an asshole.
Dislike Gacy on this podcast. We're now on Gacy heads.
Gacy's not chill, dude.
Not chill. What's crazy is like, wow, what is a world before Gacy? Clowns just didn't have a negative connotation. It's sort of wild. Like our whole lives were defined by that man ruining clown.
Like when you go to clown school and you get the clown textbook, it's the book is divided. It's pre-Gacy and post-Gacy.
It's your PG-12.
I was watching a John Wayne Gacy documentary with some friends.
I thought you were gonna say like porno or something.
So I gotta say, I was watching a John Wayne Gacy documentary with some friends, and we're watching it, and I'm like, this is so fucked up, so disturbing. And I looked over at my friend, and he's like, not that disturbed. And I'm like, dude, he's literally killing kids. Like, what's wrong? And he's like, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I thought he ate the kids. And I was like,
He was disappointed.
I was like, wait, were you disappointed? He's like, no, I just thought he ate kids. And I waited 6 seconds. I was like, is it because he's fat? And my friend was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Like,
Apparently he was gay, but also like homophobic. And he
it's
would,
in
like,
his name, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, but pre-Gacy clowns, Gacy gave clowns a really bad. I mean, to be a working everyday clown after Gacy. But anyway, so my favorite though, if we're on the topic of horrific clowns. 1990 something, made for TV, Stephen King adaptation, 2-part. The first part I thought was one of the greatest, scariest moments, some of the scariest moments in horror history. Dude, if we're talking the horror out there. Second part, trash, horrible.
So can
Tim Curry, shout out Tim Curry.
Shout out Tim Curry. But we actually talked about this on I want to say the first episode. So if you go back, Brendan, we talked about this on the first episode. When was the last time you were scared, right? And you asked me.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was Tim Curry in the sewer.
Yeah.
I was only like 6 years old. It fucking
dude, it's
fucked
so
me up.
scary,
dude.
dude.
It terrified me. But then at like 27 years old, I rewatched it.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically, imagine if they made a Lifetime movie, but they got Skinamax actors, right? And they were like, you
Tim
guys
Curry's an
can't,
amazing
no,
actor.
but you can't fuck. You have to talk to each other. And then there's this talented clown over here. That is it.
I
part
disagree.
one.
I disagree.
No, it is.
I think it stands up.
No,
I think it stands
Brendan,
up.
watch it again.
I did. I watched it recently. I watched it like a year ago. Fine, we can
full
disagree.
circle,
We
the
disagree.
director of that, Tommy Lee Wallace, his other big movie that relates to tonight, Halloween 3.
Fun fact, that's the only Halloween movie that Michael Myers is not in, as far as I know.
No, but I will say this: Dubbs, like a made-for-TV movie, like it had those elements of just like lifetimey kind of phone it in shit acting.
Tim Curry was phenomenal, and the beginning
he was very good. Yeah,
but also this comes back to like our conversation about Signs, like how much of it is nostalgia from that from that time of our lives where we were way more vulnerable.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to separate the nostalgia from the movies that you watch.
But also, my parents were older and they saw that and they were like, "Oh my god, that's what showed me." They were affected by because they didn't see anything. Like things have evolved so much.
By the way, our most recent episode, our Halloween episode, we went into the woods. We watched the Blair Witch Project. We filmed our podcast about the Blair Witch Project.
You can really go after age
it
all
is,
the way.
honestly,
to
it's on
back to
YouTube.
T.
It's on YouTube. It is our first episode ever that is pure video. Please watch it. We're gonna promote it as long as we can. We're super proud of this.
Please watch. We'll give you money. We'll give you money. I'll literally give you $10.
Okay, one other pop in about this movie before we get to our closing statements. Just a fun little fact that we've now seen twice, and I'm sure we'll keep seeing it. They're like, oh, we're gonna get on the MTA system, and then
It's a PATH train.
It's the motherfucking New Jersey PATH train. Represent New Jersey. It must be for rights or something, because obviously you can rebuild a set either side. But every time they love to be like, oh, it's just the MTA, and it's a fucking balloon path.
Okay.
So in I think it's John Wick 2, they used the PATH train as a perfect analogy. John Wick 3, in my opinion, is the best in the trilogy because all it does is the action. And the story is like nothing. It doesn't matter. It just carries on and it's the best.
Dude, I just got an
Yeah,
idea
what I'm
for
saying,
John
but-
Wick 5. Bring Nicolas Cage in there, John Wicker Man.
Oh, that actually would be different.
Okay, that's different.
That shit would actually be like Wicker Baskets, like with a dog in it. Can I say something right now? The greatest action movie ever made, and you guys haven't even seen it. The Man from Nowhere.
I have seen that movie.
Let's get the frick out of here.
All right, so before we talk about what we thought, there's this idea of what we thought they thought, which brings us to this segment where we try to figure out what the critics think about this movie, and we call it Rotten S Tomato.
Rotten as tomatoes. What you think? Use what you think. Guess the scores before they stink.
So it doesn't always go smoothly, but I actually think it might. Do you guys don't know? You guys don't?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I literally couldn't even begin to tell you.
Brendan hasn't left. We made him hermit. We locked him up like the Saw fucking captured character. He hasn't watched. He doesn't know who won the. What else? I didn't know anything.
When I was looking on facts, I was looking as if like I just saw my parents have like I walked in on my parents having sex, like with my fingies covering my eyeballs. Go.
So what's going to happen is based on what we all thought about the movie. So I already know because I usually pick them and I make them watch, so I know what it's rated. But they have to guess what the critics thought, but also what the audience thought, which can often be true.
Now, do you know both of these scores?
I just look right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is called Rotten
Dude,
S Tomato.
I have no idea. Do you have any like feel for this? Okay.
So I will start because Terrifier 3. Honestly, we're not going to guess it all. We don't have time, but I want you to tell us all of the Terrifiers at some point because I'm curious. But Terrifier 3. I mean, my thought is that it's not good. But my thought is also if you're a critic and you're going into Terrifier 3, you probably saw 1 and 2, and you have a lot of thoughts about it. I mean, and it did some interesting things. I know it was all over the onlines. Everyone was talking.
It was all over the interwebs.
It was all over the interwebs, www.napster.com. I'm going to guess that it has a 72.
Ooh, that's way higher than I thought it would.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
What do you got?
I'm going to say 64 critics. No, you know what? 65. Make it nice and even.
Oh,
Nice
I
even
thought it was going
65.
to be lower.
65. All right, well, what's the answer for critics?
Okay. So critics, 77%.
What? That is shocking to
Pretty
me.
close to nailed it, but outside of
killed
the
it.
fight, that's so stupid, bro. Let's kill the critics, dude.
Dude,
Here's a
you know
critic-
what's so sad
Dude,
about
mainstream media
You know what's
and their
crazy?
fucking critics.
movies like this? The audience score will be higher than the critic score.
Here's the critics' consensus. Taking an axe to Yuletide cheer and everything else in its path, Terrifier 3 is a bloody fantastic stocking stuffer for the holiday season.
So wait, real quick before we get into the audience, can you tell us what Terrifier 2 was?
So Terrifier 2 is 86 critics.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit, dude.
What was Terrifier 1?
Dude, where's Roger? Where's Ebert? Dude, because I'm gonna Terrifier your fucking nuts
Who
off.
kept telling Leone that he should keep making these movies?
Terrifier 1 is 62%.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds closer.
That's
who
more what
emboldened
I
him
would.
to keep going?
The critics. All the critics.
Fucking critics.
Oh no, it's mostly
All right,
people.
so audience score. Go.
So audience score, Terrifier 3.
So Terrifier 3 we now know is 9 points lower than Terrifier 2,
Right.
which is 2.5 hours long.
Terrifier 3, I agree with Brendan's sentiment. I was thinking that already, that the audience actually will be higher because you chose to see it. Critics have to see it. Audience chose to see it, and there were some deaths, and I think they got what they wanted, which is trash. So I'm gonna say that audience is 80, flat 80.
So you know what, dude? After I said that I thought the audience would be higher,
You love your nice flag, dude.
I no, but as you were kind of like justifying it, I actually think the audience is going to be lower because I think the audience is smarter than we like to believe.
That hit everything that we have talked about the last 7
So
episodes.
that's why I'm going to switch again
No,
and
no,
go
I-
higher than the critic score.
Brendan's just staring at Will's eyes, trying to get a read on this.
I'm playing in Texas Hold'em, dude. So I'm gonna say the audience is I'm go around where Abbie went. I'm gonna say 76.
All right.
85.
Wow, Abbie killed it.
The audience was higher. We have not had one where the audience score is higher than.
Yeah, but like
Not
they
yet.
love the gore, dude.
So I
You know,
don't
they
ha-
love the gore.
But also, I don't have there's no reason for me to fish for the stupid reviews. Usually, it's like
Yeah, blood good, big squirt, ass got sawed. Yeah, it's like I love the part where her tits got ripped off. It's like, oh wow, dude, caveman troglodytes.
Medicare at best, dude. What are your scores? I got mine. 7.4 glasturbations.
That's equivalent to a 74. So you agree with the critics? You're fucking.
It's for me. 7.4 is like.
Oh, you got roped in, you little Eber roper. All right, let's hear it.
Well,
Abbie
don't make me now. I'm like
Krinsky.
7.1.
No, it was good. It's
No,
your favorite movie.
but I also don't think it was great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna right
Score
as I talk
says
shit.
otherwise.
Right as I'm gonna talk shit, I want to just start with again. They did do cool kills, quality. It's unique. 5.1, dude. Trash movie though.
5.1 is fair.
Yeah, I think like it's not the worst movie I've seen. I think there were moments that like I had like a visceral reaction. I was like, oh wow, this is like really. I don't know. It garnered something that it roused something within me that honestly made me really turn on. But anyway, no, I would say I like 5.5. I'm gonna say 5.5 little vials.
Top 5 dead or alive, dude.
It's also you guys have to understand, all you our listeners out there. When we'll love something and we dislike it, it's really fun to just hate on
Did I
it.
say love it? Because
You see it like
I was excited to see, but I did say, did I not? That I
You
thought-
said this was the best movie ever made. I thought.
Yeah, I said you would hate it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I did very
You
dislike it
5.1
much.
did, dude.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming out. And let me just be honest, guys. Listen. Oh,
And
you know what
yeah,
that
it's
means?
time to go.
2 men and a baby. Oh yeah.